This story is a series. If you have not watched the previous episodes, please start from the beginning, or from your most recently watched episode. Thank you for watching.
Alright, we're here. Take a look at the equipment and prepare accordingly before starting the investigation. I've also written some notes on the White's new intel. Reports of light switching. Possibly harmless, but be careful out there.
The voice of their other friend made Brad shake his head in disbelief. Another person jumping in on the belief bandwagon Raymond rode. At least they wouldn't get lost anymore from Raymond's daft directions. Brad was filled with vigor. This second investigation would go much more in his favor. He now knew what to expect from Raymond. Brad made mental notes of the mischief in his mind.
You ready, Raymond? This looks like quite the nice place. You sure there's a ghost in here?
Definitely, Brad. You gotta expect the unexpected. This is the place.
Raymond, the power's off.
Well, we should probably check the breaker then. The power was out. This was unusual. He was sure that in the discussion with the dispatcher that lights flickering was a newly noticed happening of the paranormal. How could they flicker with no power? Brad figured being in the dark-filled house made no sense.
Power's on.
It would be easier to discern reality from hoax if the house was lit with light. More ghost orbs? This house was nicer, and he didn't expect to see the bugs flying around inside. The spirit box picking up another voice from a radio channel? He scoffed at the thought. This time he had a plan. He had bought a small signal disruptor that he had stuffed inside his jacket's pocket. That would stop the false stations coming through. He released a breath of satisfaction. All he could think about was how he had finally trapped Raymond. A quick zap of memories from his planning reminded him of his other devious blueprints of exposure. He wanted to get his hands on some of the equipment Raymond used last time to make sure there wasn't hidden switches or buttons that activated other means on them. The crucifix was his main suspect, and maybe the motion sensor. He also wanted to try and stick close to Raymond, make sure he didn't pull a fast one on him.
Anything yet?
No, Brad. No luck yet. And either place unaccounted items or play out incidents of unrealness.
Did you hear that, buddy?
Yeah, where did that come from?
Is someone here? You're not supposed to be in here. This is private property.
I think it came from over here. The little teddy bear was creepy. Why was it facing towards the door? A normal place it would be facing into the room. He shook the blank teddy stare from his memory. Something about this place was unusual. The teddy bear was a catalyst in the thoughts of suspicion. Why had the power been out on their arrival? Raymond didn't seem upset about it either. He wondered if this whole investigation was a setup. Had Raymond come here earlier? Had he set up other surprises for Brad to encounter? Would the TV turn on by itself, a Ouija board left abroad to be discovered on this expedition of paranormal experiences? The thoughts of betrayal started to swarm his mind. Wondered what the basement held. The damp walls immediately made him think of mold.
Wait, is that a bone?
Yeah, maybe they have a dog? A bone? A dog's bone was the first explanation he had as well. The thoughts of this being a specimen seized from the decrepit corpse of the departed floated down into Brad's thoughts, but is swatted away. Raymond had saw it first. No, he pointed it out with his flashlight, showing it to Brad, but made no commentary about it, as if Raymond wanted him to make the first move on its existence. Had this bone been planted here by Raymond in an earlier day? A smug, silent laugh in his mind mocks Raymond's minuscule attempt to make him believe. He wouldn't be tricked so simply. Raymond would have to do much better. Brad was wide-eyed and conscious of the tricks that could be in play. Brad had saw the spirit box sticking out of Raymond's pocket. This was the moment in which his jammer would be put to the test. Test that could shift the whole investigation in Brad's opinion into reverse. He followed, sticking close so that he could make sure the jammer's disrupting distance was well overlapping Raymond's presence. Brad, we have a handprint over here.
Okay, don't touch it. I'm coming in to see.
There's another one on the window, too. I'm gonna give the spirit box a go. Hello? He flipped through the pages before placing it down. Is anyone here? He found no magnets. All the pages were blank. He threw it once just to make sure it wasn't filled with surprises. Did you just move the rabbit? Where are you? The spirit box had seemingly stopped working. No sounds or voices had come through. I'm not getting anything on the spirit box this time, Bradley. Thus, the little jammer had done its job perfectly. Brad checked off the mental note he had pinned in his head. This proved that the spirit box was not picking up the radio station it had last time, and now simply spoke static.
Oh, not picking up any radio stations tonight?
No, something's off in here. I can't put my finger on it, though. Did you see it touch the rabbit?
No, I must have missed that.
He fondled the crucifix. No hidden switches, speakers, or anything of the sort. He threw it to the floor. It had served its purpose, and was now simply the floor's decor. The salt had been emptied out onto the floor. Nothing suspicious inside the bottle. Exiting the house again, he could think about nothing more than the fact that he would be in here, the vacuum in the morning, cleaning the salt embedded in the carpet. Maybe adding a cordless vacuum in the cleanup kit would be beneficial, but this thought was wiped down and scrubbed, leaving a spotless surface for a new concept to occur. He wondered if the smudge sticks had something to do with the events that went on. Maybe the smoke from them produced the bugs, yeah, like an insect attractor. That would make sense why all the flying fleas floated in front of the camera last time. He had to put his newfound theory into effect, which he did, checking the camera to see if bugs were flying into the wide open room. But from the flung open front door, he found the scene was empty, with no insect actors present. Brad, did you see? The motion sensor just picked up something moving.
Wait a second, Raymond. If we're both out here, that means someone is actually in there.
Yeah, the ghost, Brad.
No, Raymond. I mean like someone is trespassing. Like they could be stealing the equipment.
Brad, I thought all the stuff you put in the room, you were believing more.
Believing? Nah, no way. I'm just covering all our bases. I don't know what kind of tricks the equipment we bring can do, so if I can find out which are making the things happen, I'll prove it's all a hoax.
I really thought we were getting something. How could Raymond think his few parlor tricks would make him believe? He corrected his concept, though. There were a few hoaxes that were more elaborate. However, he noticed something. Raymond seemingly had become saddened by this. Brad saw the bland and expressionless face of Raymond. Had it really affected him that much? He felt bad for his friend. The conversation in which he found clearing seemed to have upset him. Maybe there was more to this ghost hunting than Raymond let on. Brad let his mind wander with possible outcomes of the question. This was the moment. Brad looked around, inspecting the motion sensor. Everything about it seemed completely normal. It was hard to see if the insides had a timer, but it looked like it turned on when he stepped near it. He is met with the strong stomping of footsteps around him. He looked to the floor, and a shiver climbs his spine. He looked for Raymond near him, but he wasn't there. His eyes pulled to the carpet-covered floor, watching the sounds stamp around him. His salt had been disrupted. He wondered how it was possible when he was the only soul inside the nursery, and in place some sort of sound machine when? How? Brad, this picture just fell off the wall.
Yeah, okay, but maybe there's a loose nail. We've been walking around in here. Maybe we bumped it.
I don't think so, Brad.
Alright, well come see this. I've been in here, just me, and the salt I put down has footprints in them. Did you step in them when you came in? I've been very careful not to.
Brad, maybe it was the ghost.
Okay, well, one of us must have stepped on them.
He patted his pockets and slapped his slacks to see if Raymond had planted something on him, yet the yield was empty. Raymond's reply regarding the salt-crusted steps solidified a surprising puzzle pressed and imprinted in Brad's mind. Brad, we should grab some stimulants. We need to keep the sensors up. Make sure we're on our game tonight. This is the night you start believing.
Unlikely, but I'll grab some just to make sure I can keep a fast eye on your tricks.
Raymond seemed surprised or had no idea this had happened to him. Raymond wasn't an actor by any means, and that caused the thoughts to spill like a new jigsaw puzzle box dumped onto an empty table, all 1,000 pieces scattered, spreading outwards. Brad could feel his heart hounding him, beating like a bark. Panic was prancing and creeping up on him now that he didn't have an explanation at the forefront of his forehead. So he tried to calm his mind, relax, and simply watch the scene. If nothing happened, he knew there was nothing to worry about. The previously riled-up dog in his chest went to sleep, and silence was all that was in this room. I'm gonna grab the temp gun again. Maybe it can help us out here. Maybe it's gotten colder.
Okay, buddy. Let's head back in there and double check.
Brad was slightly enticed to see if something in the room caused it to get colder. Maybe one of the items they brought in. He rushed to watch Raymond's every move. Maybe he would scan something, dropping it into the low temperatures. Brad wanted to make his own assessment on the claims Raymond had made. He saw the picture smashed on the floor. It looked like it had simply landed on the face from a loose nail, the wire strings still strong on the spine of the back. But as he scoured the wall, he saw the faded empty seat left from the frame, with an angled nail still solid and strong. He definitely needed to review Raymond's headcam. His only explanation is Raymond himself hucked the frame from the high wall, but the repulsive feeling held tight to Brad's head. Raymond would never break someone's personal belongings for a hoax, no matter what he believed or how far he wanted to go with this thesis. He would never do something so grotesque. Had he really gone too far this time? For his thesis? For his belief? It was time to test the candlestick for some sort of triggered switch or something unusual in its design. He lit it in the van and walked to the room, hoping it would activate outside, but it didn't. He felt its sides as he held its lit flame in front of him. It was seemingly normal in all regards, just a standard candlestick. Bradley, there's a spirit moving around in here. You have to come check this out. You can see it moving through the laser dots. He rushed back with another smudge stick. He heard Raymond's call that he saw something. Maybe the smudge stick made the apparitions appear in the lasers, like some sort of magician's illusion. The burning wick of the stick reduced to nothing, and with that Brad expected an event to occur, but nothing happened. The room was empty, filled with just the green dots. Look, right there, did you see it?
Yeah, I did. Is this a projector? Like it's creating the image?
Are you being serious right now?
I just have to ask, man. We have to rule out all the possibilities.
What was that scraping scream of exasperated exhales that surrounded Raymond's soul? Was that some sort of sound from his jacket? But look how startled he was. Raymond had jumped back out into the hallway. Fear froze Brad in place. He could just stare at the chilling space in front of him. What had he just witnessed? The scream had sent orders to his heart to start beating. The constant thumping and fear had taken control. He could hear the thumping in his head. He took deep breaths, but the panic was strangling and closing his trachea. The memory of the first investigation pulled weight in his manic mind. He found another event in which he couldn't explain, but this time he He awaited the logic to swoop in and save him, but he just kept falling. That beast in his chest had calmed to a dull roar, shaking the cage ever so slightly as it stomped. He wanted to wipe the sweat from his head, but was waiting till Raymond looked away. How had he pulled off such a hoax? Wait, maybe it was the teddy bear or the candlestick. He never checked the candlestick. He had to be more attentive to Raymond's tricks. He must have a complex system in place to create scenes and sounds of spiritualism. Brad's mind was seemingly grasping at straws, trying to come up with some sort of solution to calm this beast to nothingness again. This was it. Brad could feel his heart beating with passion. He felt like he was taking his opponent's king in chess. Testing. Is this Daniel Jones here with us? Do you want to hurt us?
What the fuck?
Run, Bradley, get the hell out of here!
I'm going.
Just get out, I'm right behind you. How did that voice come through? He needed to check the disrupting device, but he also had to wait for Raymond to leave. As he watched Raymond run past him to the van, he quickly checked the status of the scrambler. He must have bumped the button or shut it off. But to his dismay and disbelief, the signals were still being disrupted.
I thought it didn't work. I thought it didn't pick up anything earlier. Now it wants us dead?
That's because it didn't pick up anything earlier. You were right there.
This isn't a joke, Raymond. This stops. No more bullshit. You can't put me through
You're
stress
right,
like
Brad.
this.
This isn't a joke. This is real. That wasn't me. It wasn't a radio station. It's a real spirit that wants to hurt us for being in there. You have to start believing in me before something bad happens to us, Brad.
All right. I'll try and believe a bit more. But I need to see some real proof, like a creature from the beyond. Like a full-body apparition, like you see in the movies.
Well, I'm working towards that, Brad. I want to see that from my report. My whole college degree hinges on this. I want to see an apparition too, but we need to be safe. Just trust me at the very least. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah. And just be honest with me. That's all I'm asking for.
I always have been, Brad. How did that voice come through? It should have been impossible. An infiltrating thought snuck its way past the logical guards of his frontal lobe. The emotion of true terror took hold of him. This was real. Raymond was right. But the guards caught the intruding thought and locked it away. No. How did Raymond pull off such a hoax? If it wasn't a radio channel, and a pre-recording would have arose earlier. This puzzle infuriated Brad. The culprit of the look in Raymond's face surprised him. The look of anger and sadness covered his face like a split mask, each side showing a separate, exaggerated emotion. That's when it hit him. The crack of a bat hitting a baseball. Raymond's emotions on the situation were genuine. Brad's thoughts drove the ball out of the field, turning it into a home run. Raymond had always been authentic. This was never a joke to him. A flood of guilt and sadness drowned him as Raymond walked away. Brad had felt horrible about his erroneous accusations. Finally, in this moment, he let go of his hard-headed ego. Maybe Raymond was really right. Brad couldn't bring up any proof why the things happened tonight. The voice while his jammer was on, the ghastly gasping scream, the apparitions moving in the laser in which he had placed, and lastly the picture frame. If Raymond's headcam showed it coming off the wall, there would be undeniable proof of this phantom's existence. Brad wanted to apologize, but he couldn't. Maybe in the morning he would. Brad's world had now flipped upside down. His anger had made him realize he was wrong. His friend did nothing but be honest and hopeful. He never lied to Brad. No, not even once. Brad just believed that he was lying, when in reality Raymond was really revealing the happenings around them. The rest of the night was awkward for Brad. Raymond and Brad just stood there watching in silence. The two silent companions traveling side by side down a path to a destination seemingly only one of them knew the route. More importantly, Brad knew he wasn't the person leading them. Raymond headed these expeditions. Maybe it was time for Brad to truly take a breath of belief. The last thing his camera catches is Brad staring at Raymond. Thank you all for coming to watch the second episode of the Phasmophobia story series in Brad's perspective. If you enjoyed the video, please leave us a like. If you want to keep up to date on this story as well as the others, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Lastly, drop me a comment down below. Do you think Brad is truly going to change his view from exposing the hoaxes to truly believing? Thank you all for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.